Okay, welcome to video 11.1. We're going to be doing a 3D pipe drawing today, so you need to make sure you have your sketchbook and a pencil. And you have two options for this. If you want to use the pipe that I'm going to have here, you can use that to look at, or you can find your own pipe at your house or wherever you're going to be at. So take a minute, decide what you want to do. If you would like to use your own pipe, you need to take a few minutes to go and find some pipe at your house. Ask your parents if they have some, things like that, and gather that all up before we start. That way you can observe your own pipe. It doesn't matter how big or small it is, you can use any kind of pipe you want. We are going to be drawing some pipe with this on it. Okay, one of the attachment pieces that fit on the pipe. Here's the actual pipe, and this is an attachment piece. If you have a straight one, it's fine, but you can also have one that curves. Okay, some of them have a curved attachment, so you can have that as well. This one's going to be more difficult, so this would be for like the 7th and 8th grade students, unless you really want to try a curve one. The shading on this is a lot different, if you notice. Okay, so get your pipe together, like I said, unless you want to use the one that I have here. And so I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Just pause the video. Okay, if you have your pipe ready, or if you've decided that you're going to use the pipe that I have with me, our first step is going to be observe our pipe. So when we look at this, you're going to look at your pipe and you're going to notice several things. First, we're going to look at the shape. The shape of this pipe, if we look at it right now, it looks rectangular. I can cut it straight off here, if you can imagine that, and it's going to look like a rectangle, right? Here to here, rectangle. And this part also is a rectangular shape. If you look where it ends, and then the sides here, okay, it's going to be a rectangular shape. So our pipes are two rectangles. This one is wider, see? Comes down. And then this part is not quite as wide as this one. So we have two rectangular shapes, one larger, one smaller. The next thing we're going to do is look at the values we have on here. Since we're doing form, we don't want to just draw two rectangles, okay? What is that going to look like? We have two rectangles. Let me get this paper. We just draw two rectangles, but that does not, when you look at that, it doesn't say, oh, that's a pipe. It doesn't look like a pipe, right? Even though it's the same shape. But what makes this look like a pipe is because look how dark it is down here. Look at the value down here. It's very dark, and then it middle shades here, and then it's lighter on the top. And if you notice, there's also a lot of darkness around this edge. Why is that darkness there? Because there's an edge to it, right? And it's blocking some of the light. And if I turned toward the light, look, it went away. Okay? That darkness around this spot, it's not there anymore because the light's coming from this way and it's hitting it. But if I turn back this way again, oh, there's the darkness. It's back. Okay? So based on how your light's hitting your object, you're going to have dark and light areas. Now, since this is round, okay, it goes around, you're going to have it to where it gets darker and lighter gradually. There's a gradual change. See, in here, it's the same thing. It's a gradual change. And look, at the very bottom of it, though, what do you see? You see some light. This is reflective light at the very, very bottom. Okay? And you can see it on here. So you can't see it if I'm on the paper. It blends into the paper. Watch as soon as I move out there. Oh, there it is. There's that reflective light. So at the very, very, very bottom, we see some reflected light. That's pretty cool. So watch. Disappears, blends in with the paper. There it is again. Okay? So you can notice all these things on your shape and then the different values or the different shades that are on there. Okay, and if you notice also, looks like a very light rectangle on this. See how there's like this, it's almost like a defined area. Okay, and that makes you look at this and say, oh, it's very smooth here when you have that drastic change in the light. And and that lets you know it's smooth. And see its reflection, because when I turn it, it really doesn't change where it's at. It doesn't follow my my pipe. See, it's right here. It doesn't follow my pipe. It stays with the light. Okay. So anyway, now that you have evaluated those, we need to decide the best position to put our pipe in. Now we want to show that this is 3D with more than just the values here. Okay, see this angle? All we see is the values and our shading, and that's all we're going to have to show that this is three-dimensional. But if we move out a little ways, look at that. Now we can see what? We see the inside. And that's going to help us even more. So now we have our values to show it's three-dimensional, and we can use the form of this, the shape. You see the inside. Remember when we did that tire? And I wanted you to draw the inside of a tire. That's because that's one of the aspects that will help you make something three-dimensional. So I'm going to draw this pipe from this angle. Now remember, you can also use the other end of your pipe. This pipe, mine has a curved one right here, which I'm also going to be using this later too for more advanced students. So if you want to wait and draw the curved part over here, just you can practice if you want on this one, on the flat end, but then you can also do the main drawing as a curved one. So I'm going to be doing two drawings. We're going to be doing one like this, and then I'm going to be doing one with the angled end that goes on a 9 degree. So just decide which one you want to do, or you can practice both with me. It doesn't matter. So let's go and get started on this one. Okay, first thing you're going to do with this is we're going to sketch out our pipe. Okay, sketch it out. So that's what I'm going to do on my sketchbook here. Okay, so I've sketched it out. Remember, we said this is just rectangles. So I have a larger rectangle and a smaller rectangle here. And what's going to make this different is looking at the lines. So this is actually round because it's a cylinder. So we're going to look over here and notice that these lines, this is not a straight line, okay? It's not a straight line like this. See what happens? See, there's space in between there. We have space here and space up here because it's not really straight, it's curved. So we're going to draw this line to where it's curved. So let's look over here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to curve it like that. Okay? Now I also, if I curve this side, I have to also curve this side. So let's go and do the same thing over here. And I want to make sure they kind of match, because I don't want one to be going all crazy and the other one, totally different. It needs to have the same type of curve. Now we have this inside part. So it makes like an oval shape. So this may take you a little bit to practice. I'll make this oval shape. Okay, so here's my oval shape. I'm going to clean these edges up a little bit because if you notice, this has a flat, see how it has this flat edge all the way around it? So we need that over here, but my drawing's all kind of messy. So I'm going to clean all this up. I'm going to erase some of it and then redraw it to where I have this edge, okay? Okay, so I erased all my stuff and I came back in and created a lip. Now if you notice, this side is thicker than this side. And if you look at the pipe, this side of my pipe is thicker than this side because I see more of it all the way over to the inside. And you also notice that there is a very light highlighted area right here, which would go right here, and I can put that in later if I want to. But we don't have to do that right now. So my pipe is pretty much done, okay? I have all my rounded, the shape is correct now. It's not a flat triangle anymore, rectangle, sorry. And so now I have to look at my light and dark areas. So where are my dark areas on this inside part? They're right up here, right? Up in here. So this is going to be my dark areas. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm even going to add these little holes in here So I'm gonna go ahead and shade this real quick. Okay, so I shaded this area. Okay, and if you need to, unless you want to use a Q-tip, you can. You're not supposed to, but you can use your finger to shade a little bit. And you notice when we color this and we put our shade on here, we want to shade with the direction of the pipe. Okay, so I don't want to go back and forth like this. I want to try to keep my shading this way. And you can use your finger to blend it. A lot of artists will tell you don't do that, but we're not going to make a big deal about that right now. Now, where's the other area? Let's look on this part, okay? Where's our dark area on this part? It's on the bottom, right? Now, I don't have any reflected light on here anymore because it's on the ground. If I pick this up, I would have a lot more reflected light on the bottom. See it down there? But since it's on the ground, there isn't a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and shade the bottom portion of these two. Now if you notice, the light travels through here a little bit further than it does on this because it sticks out more. So you're going to have, this is going to be a little bit lighter. See the darkness here? It changes, it's a little bit lighter on this. So you'll be able to see more of this. So don't just color straight across the whole thing. Do this piece first and then we'll do back here, okay? So let's do that real quick. Okay, so we're going to shade in this direction, right? Back and forth, because that's the direction of the pipe. It's going to be easiest to do that way. Now you could go up and down like this, and you can do that also if you want to. But it's going to look more elongated if you stay going this direction. So remember, down here is where you press the hardest, and then you lessen the pressure. Don't push as hard on your pencil. As you move up, push less and less until you're just barely, see, I'm barely fell off. Barely, my pencil's just resting on my hand. I'm not even really pushing, and I'm just letting it glide across there to make these last marks. Okay? Now again, you can use your finger if you want to. Go back and forth on this. Yes. Create some shading. Okay? Now let's do the same thing over here on this side. Alright? Okay, so here's the shading on this one. Again, now remember, it comes up a little higher. See, the darkness is a little different on these two. Okay? So again, you can use your finger if you want. And forth, just kind of mix it all together. Alright. Now I'm going to erase some of these top lines here real quick. Okay, I erased my top lines and just made them really light because these down here are going to be really dark. And so now I can add a little bit of shading right here. It's going to go up a little bit higher. And to do that, I'm just going to come in, and this time I'm going to go upwards. I'm not going to try to do like this because there's not a whole lot of shading that I need to do. I'm just going to darken some of that up. Now I got to blend it out just a little bit. Blend some of this out. Around with your finger a little bit. Okay, so this is my basic pipe here. See, this is all kind of messy under here, so I'm going to go clean it up real quick. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do here is I shaded a little bit of this part. Okay, I can use my finger to bring in a little bit of shade there, and I'm going to erase this dark area down here and highlight some of it. So let me erase that. Okay, so I erased that, and I'm going to darken up a little bit of this spot instead. And then I can come in and erase a little place. Okay, I don't have a super good eraser on this, as you can see, but I erased a little bit right here, outline some. There we go. Okay, so I think I got about all of my stuff. Now yours hopefully looks a little bit better down here than mine does. But if it doesn't, that's fine. The last thing we can do, we can get a little bit more darkness through here. You see that line that goes across here? We can put one with our eraser. We just have to make sure we have enough of the dust, from our graphite, from our pencil here up there. So let me do that. Okay, so I erased this, and you notice it's also on this part. It just steps down a little bit, right? Because you go boop, step down. So it don't go straight across. There's a little bit of a lowering, and then it goes. So the same thing I did here. We have our erase line, and then poop, and there we go. All right, so here is the first pipe. And like I said, if this is all you want to do, that's perfectly fine. I'll go through really quickly how to do the 90-degree angle one. But if this is what you want to do and that's all, then you are done. Okay, great job. Go ahead and stop the video and make sure you do your observational sketch for this week. And I will see you next Tuesday. Otherwise, let's keep going. Okay, so if you're going to continue and you want to try this pipe as well, we're going to do the same process as this, so we're going to move a lot faster with this one. So let's go ahead and sketch this pipe out. Okay, so the main thing you want to do when you sketch this pipe out, see I've divided it into a rectangle here, here, and then two triangular pieces with a round end. So the main thing you want to do is make sure this piece is about as long as this piece. So that means the distance from here to here is about the same as from here to here. Because you don't want a skinny piece and then a big piece, because this pipe is the same, okay? And then you also want to make sure these two pieces are about the same as well, okay? So after you got this sketched, now we can go ahead and draw it more like the pipe. And remember, to do that, we're going to curve our lines, so pay attention to how things curve. This one goes around, but instead of this one's going to curve differently because it's coming toward us now. So let's fix that. Okay, now you see how this is all messy and I have lots and lots of lines? This is because as you sketch things out, this is going to allow you to evaluate things and decide if it's the right size or not, and which line I really want to go with. I don't want to go with this one, I want to go with the ones that I made closer in. So it's okay when you sketch things out to be a little messy with it, and then you just clean it up. So I'm going to go back through here and clean some of this up with my eraser. Okay, so I've cleaned most of my pipe up here. Now I'm going to come in and the lip right here, I'm going to make this just like we did on this part. Okay. And remember, this top part is a lot thinner than the bottom part down here. Okay, you can see more of it than you can the top. So I've kind of adjusted this. I took this down just a little bit to make it a little more how I would like it. And now what we're going to do is we can start noticing the dark areas and the light areas, just like we did before. And here, the darkest area is going to be up in this part. This is the lighter spot. This is the lighter area, darker areas on in here. So I'm going to color most of this. And when I shade it, I'm going to go in this motion to match this shape. Okay. Okay, so I've shaded this, and I can use my finger to kind of create a little bit of this blending effect. Can add some more on here because it moves it around. And you can just fiddle with this and play with this a while until you get it, how you want to. I'll fix that up some more in a minute. Now we also look here. We have a lot of shading going on right through here. And it's a little bit rounded up here, okay? So we can do the shading on this. We have a little bit on this side, this darkness. There's a lot starting right here. So we actually get this line here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start shading up in here and over, okay? Okay, so once again, you're going to shade with the direction of the pipe, okay? And you let less and less pressure, okay? There'll be less and less pressure as you go up. So you press a lot here, and then you do not press as much. So we'll start the darkest area and move our way out. And we're doing this. Now, we're going to use our finger to do some shading here. So let's bring it over. We're moving with the direction of the pipe. You can even go this way if you want to, with the curve. Somehow I got some lines in mine. You can see already there. Okay. Now again, we're going to have these really white areas through here. See the reflection? So because of that, I need something on my pipe. So I'm going to kind of run across most of my pipe here with my finger here. Okay. There's a little bit of shading on this side that I can do. Just a little. Erase this edge here. Okay. Now we can do this part. So let's shade this side, and you notice there's also that white line, so I'm going to have some of my dust up in that area as well. Okay, so I've done a little bit of the shading on this side, and again we have some dark through here. So I'm going to go ahead, just like we did up here, add that little bit of darkness. Okay, so I added that little bit of dark area right through here. Sorry, the wind's blowing. Stay. Right through here, just kind of darken that up a little bit. And I also added a little bit more darkness right through here. Okay. Now I'm going to darken up some of this part, okay, on this, just using my finger here. I'm going to darken a little bit of that lip up. Okay, and now we can do some of the highlighting. So where are we going to highlight? Well, first of all, we got to highlight around this lip, and then we're going to highlight some areas through here. Okay, so I put some of the highlights in here. I did one here and here. And then another part that really made this stand out was right here. I did a little curve up and then one over here. So this little chip makes a big difference. Here's the dark area, and I brought my eraser out to here, then up. And then also you continue, you bump down a little bit, and it goes all the way out. So there's two of your pipes, okay? And I hope you had fun with this lesson, learned a little bit about form and also some shading. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.